Now, back to more of Behind the Scenes at the Hanover Theatre and your host, Lisa Condit.
Welcome back to Behind the Scenes. This is Lisa Condit on WCRN AM 830, and we are on the phone with Lisa Lamb all the way from Ireland. And Lisa is joining others in Celtic Woman when they come to the Hanover Theatre. This performance is generously sponsored by Commerce Bank, and we're so thrilled to be talking with Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Lovely to talk to you.
So, Celtic Woman is a pretty famous act and group that comes and tours, obviously, and you've had a lot of success. But do you want to give people a little bit of a description of what the show is like in case they haven't heard?
Well, yes, Celtic Woman has been a huge success. It's almost 10 years old now at this stage. It was born, I think, originally in a place called the Helix Theatre in Ireland. It was supposed to be a one-night special for PBS, and the original lineup of girls were told us to come and perform these beautiful songs with the arrangements and by our fantastic composer and musical director David Downs. And it was kind of an overnight success, and they were kind of told to take the next few years out of their lives, and Celtic Woman was kind of born at that time. So it's been an incredible journey, and for myself, I've now been with the group just a little over 2 years, and we are currently on tour with our new show called Believe, and it's a very beautiful piece. The show itself is a huge, spectacular event. It has very, very beautiful music, beautiful costumes, beautiful lighting, set, an incredible band and musicians and choir with us. So it's a huge show, and it's a show that's for absolutely everybody of all ages. So it's we're just so excited to get back on the road very, very soon.
Oh, well, that's great. Now, it's interesting because when I did a little research on you on Wikipedia, it says that your instruments are vocals and spoons. How would you describe your musical style?
Well, I haven't read that latest. I know I haven't read that latest Wikipedia update, but I do actually play the spoons in the show, and it was actually something that I did back in 2005 in Dublin. I've trained as a classical actress, and in one of the shows I was doing here, it was actually a really fun piece called the Chocron, and the music was very heavily kind of based on a lot of Irish old tunes, and David Downs was actually involved in this production, and that's how our paths crossed originally. And he coaxed the spoon playing out of me at that stage, and he remembered it well when I joined Celtic Woman officially then over 2 years ago. He remembered that I could play the spoons, so he asked me to put them back into one of our really fun songs called Tear a Wallaroo, which is an Irish very fun piece about a couple of girls telling their friend to go home and stop messing and stop looking at all the boys. And so, and that's obviously me playing this role, and I get to play my spoons and have a bit of crack on stage with all the other musicians. So it's great. But I didn't know if spoon playing was actually an official instrument that you could actually be classified as playing. So I'm very chuffed to hear that.
I think it's really funny and also really fun. I love hearing the spoons, honestly, because it's something that you're not expecting, right? And then it has there are so many different beats and rhythms that can come from such a simple instrument. It's amazing. So how would you describe how would you describe your musical style?
Well, personally, my own musical style is from a very folk influenced background, and with Irish people, I think everyone has a voice. Irish people are great singers. It's kind of in their blood from the time they're very small. But for me, very much a traditional background and a folk style. But what's lovely with Celtic Woman is that you get to sort of bring out those moments that you can show the kind of background that you come from. But also, because the voices blend so beautifully, it enables you to sing in a way that you wouldn't get to sing like in everyday life, because you're singing with two other beautiful singers, and obviously Máiréad on fiddle. So she is kind of like the fourth voice within the three girls who are singing. So it's a great show to get to, for personally, to go kind of on a journey within the show and to sing many different styles. But I think for me personally, it would be from a kind of a traditional background.
Which is beautiful. I've actually been to Ireland. I love the music. I love the people. I love the scenery. Beautiful. I've been a couple of times, and it's wonderful, and it's wonderful for people of all different generations. And you said before that this show is really enjoyed by people of all ages. What is it like to see families of all ages in your audiences? It's probably like being home for you, because that's the way it is.
It's so satisfying just to see a sea of people firstly enjoying the music so much, but as you were saying, to see the range of ages there. Like there's grandparents with their grandchildren, and there's families there, and it's such a lovely thing to see, because I don't think there are many shows out there that can say that it's a show that would appeal to, different generations. And I think that's testament again to the music, and that's the beating heart of what Celtic Woman is. It's all about the music, and it comes from a very real, very honest place. And I think that's what's helped it be so successful over the last few years, and to have the longevity that it's had.
Oh, I agree. So what do you think it is about Ireland or Irish music that resonates with so many people? And you don't need to be Irish to enjoy Irish music by any stretch of the imagination, right?
That's true. Yes, it really does. It's got such a wide audience, and which is wonderful. And I think there's lots of different reasons why it's so appealing to people. But I think, firstly, Irish people themselves are spread in the four corners of the world for many, many, many years, and I think that's helped spread our culture and our music actually through generations. So for us, it's when we have brought our show to American audiences, it's lovely to see people toe tapping and clapping their hands and really understanding the rhythms, and it's very rhythmic music actually. I mean, there are of course moments in the show where you'll have those beautiful still moments of songs of lament and loss, but then you'll have those uplifting, riveting kind of moments where people are just, you really want to jump out of your seats to kind of dance along with us, and I think it's a very I think it's one of those things that just has its own rhythm, and you can identify with it, because I think when music is good, you can identify with it no matter what style it is.
I agree, and I think that you hit on something when you said it's very rhythmic and it's great to see people toe tapping. Well, I have to say I've never met a single Irish person who can't keep rhythm and dance, and it doesn't matter whether they're young or old or male or female, but it seems like the Irish have a little monopoly on dance.
I think, well,
at least socially, right?
Definitely, I think so. Absolutely, I think it's it's in the blood for sure. I think from the time we're all small and we're in school, we're singing songs that when you're very young, you don't necessarily understand the meaning of, but the tune is very familiar from the time you're very small, and as you grow older, you almost not that you take it for granted, but it's just something you expect everybody to be able to do. I mean, the Irish are obviously renowned for having, being, storytellers, in pubs, having very social creatures, and I think that's been with us, for generations, and it's something that's been passed down, and you can't help but kind of burst into song when you hear somebody else. It's infectious, and that's the great thing about music. It brings everyone together, and that's what I love about being in the show, is that by the end of the night there's a sense of community within us, and there's a shared experience between us and the audience, and they're almost like the fifth Celtic Woman as such, with us. So it's a lovely feeling.
I love hearing about it, honestly. And you also mentioned that sometimes there are the still and sadder tunes, but at the end of the performance and at the end of the day, it always seems uplifting and happy, and you can't help be glad and happy when you're listening to your CDs or seeing one of your shows. Do you think that's fair?
Oh, well, thank you so much. That's lovely to hear. And I think, even if there's a moment in the show where a song, as you said, is sad, what's great about it is, and coming from an acting background, the words and the story behind the music is what makes it real. And I think if we all try to get behind that real place, and make it be a story through music. And David, is our musical director, is just fantastic at creating this specific sound that is quite unique to Celtic Woman, that blends the voices so beautifully with these stunning arrangements. And they're songs that just appeal to the heart. They're all about the heart, really. And I think they make people feel good. and it makes people feel something and live in the moment. And I think if people can come to the show and sort of have 2 hours where they don't think about all the other worries they have and stresses they have, it's a great thing, because we live in a very stressful world at the moment, and I think it's nice that our music can bring some solace to the soul.
Well, I also want to know, because a lot of people have seen your show before, and it's been enormously popular, and that's why we're bringing it to the Hanover Theatre. But what is really new to this show this year? If people have seen it before, what are they going to see that's different?
Well, I think every performance is very, very different. It's our live show, and there really is nothing like a live show. And seeing Celtic Woman live is I mean, I would love to see the show. But we actually had the great privilege of touring the States earlier last year, in the same kind of time period in the spring, with the same show. And the thing is, although it is similar material, every time we come out on tour, it's different. We have an incredible bunch of musicians that tour with us. We have a beautiful choir, and as I said, we have these gowns that make us feel like princesses. And I think what's different for people is, it sometimes songs can leap at you more than, say, something you've seen before, and it is a show for everybody. And what's lovely about people that we've talked to that have seen the show a couple of times in different venues across America, they'll say, well, at the start of the tour, I loved this song. It spoke to me, or this meant something. And then they could be in a different place emotionally, or, by the time they see the show again, and they get something new from it each time. And I think because we are dealing and are performing with, audiences every night, every single performance is different, because, as I said, they are like the fifth Celtic Woman, and it's such an intimate and shared experience, and that's what's lovely about it. I mean, there's some nights where with certain songs you can hear the sea of people singing along with you, and we just get chills when we hear that. So it's a lovely experience.
Oh, I bet. So is there anything else that you want to share with people that they might not realize about Celtic Woman or the show before we wrap up? I just appreciate your time, and I know you're busy over there in Ireland.
No, it's been lovely. We've been home for the last couple of weeks, actually, so we've all had time with our families, and it's been so nice to sort of recharge the batteries before we go out on tour. And for me, I've just completely fallen in love with America. My heart is there now, I think, so I'm really excited to get back. And it's just we always, as always, we have, we always say we have the best fans in the world, and we really do. So just to say thank you to everybody for all their continued support, and really excited to be with you there on the 21st.
Well, we're excited to have you, and thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait to have Celtic Woman, generously sponsored by Commerce Bank, at the Hanover Theatre Thursday, February 21st at 8 p.m. Of course, you can get more information on our website, which is thehanovertheatre.org, or you can call our box office. You can, I'm sure, go to Celtic Woman's website and see all sorts of information there. And we just really appreciate your time, and we can't wait to tap our toes along with you and look at you looking like princesses up on the stage.
Oh, well, please do. We want to hear you singing and clapping along for sure. Thank you, Lisa, so much. It was lovely to talk to you.
It was great to talk to you, too. You have a fabulous day.
Thank you so much. You too.